says they want and what they actually want are often at odds. And sometimes they don't even let themselves know that they have a secret underlying subconscious want that completely contradicts their professed want. So I might say that I want a book deal. I might say I want a long-term relationship that feels stable, consistent, and like a soulmate connection. But another part of me might actually want to not have a book deal, but to be completely hidden, not exposed, not published, completely hiding, to be safe. And then that other part also wants to feel freedom, to not feel pressured or trapped in a relationship, also perceiving that as safe. So the part of me that wants to be, expressing with a book deal and in love with a stable, committed relationship, those parts of me are the professed parts, the conscious. But there's other parts of me that absolutely don't want either of those things. And so if I get, for instance, if I get someone that's contacting me every day, there's a part of me that thinks, oh, this is nice because I feel safe from the stability of the relationship. And then there's another part of me that says, this is pretty scary. You're getting serious and trapped with this. There's pressure here. You have to answer how you are all the time. Uh-oh. And then there's a part of you that with that is scared, right? And then there's a part of you that's safe. And so this isn't just going to help us with our own self and knowing this. It helps you with other people too. So you might, if you go on what people say, like if you think, oh, this guy told me that he wants a relationship and that he wants to open up and have vulnerability, but his actual behavior is completely contrary to that, and he kind of tends to have that avoidance and withdrawal, then what you can glean from that is overall he's still in that push-pull of wanting the autonomy and freedom and being away from the pressure of a relationship and being away from the responsibility of it, but wants to be the type of person that has that. So again, you can't look at what people say they want. You've got to look at what they actually want by their actions. And you've got to do this to yourself too. Because oftentimes you'll be making these statements like I just made, I want a long-term relationship, I want a book deal. You've got to really look critically at the part of you that absolutely resists and doesn't want those things in order to understand why it's been kind of, if you're in a stagnant or stuck place, that's kind of the key. Because there's a part of you that actually thinks it's safer to not get those things that you want, even though there's another part of you that is in dismay over why you're not getting what you want. And the other assumption we have is that, we all think we're all told what to want too by culture. So we're told that we want marriage and kids and 9-to-5 job and money and certain things. But when we have to look at what parts of us do we actually want that, or do we think that we want that? Because it's really hard to untangle all of these elements, because there's cultural, there's family, there's friends, and then there's your own subconscious, conscious experience. There's so many factors that get in the way or that help you get what you say you want. And so that's why the best thing about becoming more self-aware is being able to watch yourself and think, I'm saying that I want this, but when I actually have an opportunity for it, I'm sabotaging it. Or I'm saying that I don't want this, but actually I secretly do, because it goes the other way. When we're in a situation that we don't like and we're complaining about it, think about the part of you that actually gets off on or wants it. For instance, sometimes you might think, oh, a lot of people's common thing is, I hate working here. Well, what's the part of you that likes it? There might be a part of you that it feels safe to be in the place that you can complain about, because that's culturally considered normal, is to hate your job and complain about it. So if you don't have something to complain about, maybe you fall out of line with the herd. Or maybe you get off on the part of, maybe you have a job where you are consciously like, oh, this doesn't seem to be a good fit. I don't agree with the messaging or the aggressive sales tactics, but another part of you maybe wants to let that aggressive side out in a socially acceptable way. And so there's kind of an at odds where one part of you that doesn't allow yourself to be aggressive likes that, and another part of yourself thinks, oh, this is so uncomfortable. So think about it. Think about it too when somebody is in your life and they're saying that they want X but they're doing Y, then you've got to go by, even though they have a desire to be a certain way, or they have a professed want, you've got to go by their action. You know, if someone is acting like they really like you by words, but they're not showing up in action, it's a sign. You see this a lot with the gifts that people give you are very revealing. If people give you gifts that have low investment, you've got to take that more than their words that they say. And sometimes gifts can be it's their own blackmail, but gifts, for instance, if someone gives you a bunch of yellow roses and then just puts the letter of your name on the card, I saw this on social media, and I thought, wow, that seems like a huge friend zone gift. But then the person seemed excited by it. But for me, I thought, wow, that's such a slight to give someone that you're romantically involved with yellow roses, and then to not have the card just be the initial of their name, not their full name. Everything about it said half-ass, half in, right? Another thing too is gifts that may be very overly expensive. There might be an expectation there as well. But I'd say the expectation of an expensive gift is far better than when it's just a yellow roses with one initial. Another gift that I thought was a real slap in the face is I got really cheap quality lingerie when the person had been claiming that they were like Mr. Luxury. That was a slap in the face. So gifts are very revealing. They're revealing all around because they show how much someone is invested in you, physically invested and emotionally invested. That's why we have wedding rings or engagement rings. They reveal that you're willing to invest in the relationship. And so it's a kind of an indicator. So never pay attention to someone's words. Always pay attention to not their professed conscious desires, because sometimes they want to be a certain way, they're just not. And other times they're definitely not that way. Either way, they may not even know how it's leaking out, the true intention or the true investment. That's why you've got to watch the signs yourself and know that what people say they want, including you, what people say they want and what they actually want is often at odds. So watch yourself, watch others, and stay self-aware.